Whoever you are, wherever you are, hope you are blessed and doing safe. Ladies and gentlemen, greetings, family. Of course, I'm tuning in. You see me without the glasses off today. But if you're looking for some opportunities, particular advertisement opportunities, then look no further at the link at the bottom to my email address. You can hit me up for advertisement opportunities. We are supporting and promoting your businesses here on this channel. You can also, if you would like to donate and subscribe to our Patreon, a link is at the bottom as well. So you have multiple ways in which you can advertise with the platform by emailing me when we go on do our live stream. You also have access to premium content, those that want to see premium content that you will not find here on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter, as I am suspended probably by now. You guys can check out the Patreon at link at the bottom. But advertisement opportunities, definitely email me, Gavin.Rich1@gmail.com for rates. And for the Patreon, it is the same as the YouTube channel. It is channel GBoot2786. All right? I'll holla. Peace.
Check out my latest book,
The Commonwealth of Pennsylvania versus William H. Cosby Jr., The Destruction of Due Process in America.
For approximately 2 years now, I have gone on a painstaking quest to investigate the rise and fall of an American icon, Bill Cosby. In the mid-1980s, there was not a star that was higher than Cosby. Advertisements with Coca-Cola, Jello, Kodak, along with the #1 television show for 5 straight years in a row. On Thursday nights, it was must-see TV on NBC. Cosby resurrected the genre of the traditional family sitcom that was once thought dead by television critics. He did this as a Black American with an all-Black cast and showed mainstream network executives in white America that it was possible to be successful without showing the worst in people. He also demonstrated the power that television had, as it can make younger people dream to be the best that they can be. However, like many celebrity stars, unfortunately, they all come crashing down, sometimes by their own fault, others not so much. In this book, I attempted to highlight certain things. We go in depth into both of his trials in 2017 and 2018, respectively. What if I told you that these criminal trials were politically motivated by an overzealous district attorney? Will you also be shocked to learn the attacks on Mr. Cosby did not start in 2014, but also in the 90s, not long after his attempted quest to purchase a major network? From where did all of these allegations of sexual misconduct come from? Were the accusers telling the truth? In the 2 years of research, some help from others interested in learning the truth and facts about this case, we discussed both the legal reasons why his prosecution and trial were illegal, unwarranted, and also the possible personal motives as to why this may have occurred. Most importantly, we warn about dangers of prejudice and why trial by social media, or mainstream media rather, should never be the norm. All this and more in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania versus William H. Cosby Jr., The Destruction of Due Process in America. Available on Amazon this fall in Kindle and paperback format.
Greetings, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Gavin Richard Presents here on channel Gboot 2786, Gavin Richard, as well as Facebook and on Periscope. Whoever you are, wherever you are, I hope you are blessed and doing safe this beautiful evening. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we shall discuss the following: alarming photos showing emaciated black inmate by the name of Kastellio Vaughan. Malika Andrews has a problem with black men. And more details involving Brett Favre welfare scandal. All this and more, ladies and gentlemen, tonight on this broadcast. Of course, we asked if you would, since the channel is not monetized, if you would donate to the Cash App, to the PayPal, GooglePay, or Zelle at the tickers at the bottom. We would also ask if you would like to support this channel. Of course, you can purchase our book, The Commonwealth of Pennsylvania versus William H. Cosby Jr., The Destruction of Due Process in the United States, a book that has been endorsed by Bill Cosby's spokesperson, Mr. Andrew Wyatt. Ladies and gentlemen, you don't want to miss this. It is available on Amazon Kindle and in paperback format very soon. We also have, ladies and gentlemen, our seasoning company, Nonnie's Creole Blends. Try it on chicken, meat, or fish. Nonnie's goes great with every dish. Come on and support. And of course, you can support us by purchasing our songs, Video Soul, and Gotta Get On Up on iTunes. So without further ado, as we always like to get this channel rolling, we're going to go ahead and get on up. And I need you all to please, before we get started again, also hit that like, share, and subscribe button. That like, share, and subscribe button, ladies and gentlemen. That way, whoa, sorry. This mic is sensitive. I forget. Hit that like, share, and subscribe button, guys. It's time to get on up and get on down. Where are my people in the comment section? There's Danielle Meyer. And let's go ahead and get on up without further ado, guys.
Girl, come on. Gotta dance to the beat, because on the dance floor is where we'll meet. Show me what you got. Gotta feel the groove.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the.
Right now the party's wasted. There's nothing much to do. But once the groove gets started, tell me, what do you have to lose? Just look into my eyes, girl, as we glide across the room. And what to my surprise now, the beat takes hold of you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this party started. Ain't no time for the broken hearted. When the rhythm takes hold of you, there's only one thing left to do. Cause the beat is really moving. Time to get your body moving. Gotta get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the.
Tell the DJ play the whispers. Rock steady in the mood. Put on earth, wind, and fire. Tonight we're gonna groove. Show me how you do the four corners. Electric slide or two. Hit the bus stop or do the bunny hop, baby. It's really up to you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this party started. Ain't no time for the broken hearted. When the rhythm takes hold of you, there's only one thing left to do. Cause the beat is really grooving. Time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something and feel the groove. Get on the floor. Get on up.
Now, 2020 hasn't been the best year of all times. We've been dealing with death, the pandemic, racism, bad policing, and all the bad rhymes. But like Uncle Snoop once said, if you breathe and you achieve. And so if you're ready, I need you all to get on up. Are you ready? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Get your butt on the dance floor. 5 and 6 and 7, 8. This jam we appreciate. We're gonna slide and step on the beat. On the dance floor is where we'll be.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something and feel the groove. Get on the floor. Get on up, baby. Yeah, gotta get on up. Come on, baby, gotta get on up. Oh, baby, feel the groove. Get on the floor. Get on up.
Feel the groove, get on the floor, gotta get on up. All right. What's up, family? Welcome to another live edition of Random Topic Tuesdays, only on channel GB2786. Whoever you are, wherever you are, I hope you are blessed and doing safe this evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna go ahead and get on up and talk about some of these topics. I thank you all for tuning in. Danielle, Unsunken One, Dana is you talking about Dana with the data. Yeah, she didn't even know I had a live stream when I went on her show. She didn't know I did live streams on Sundays, and I was like, damn, you came on my. I remember she came on my comment section and actually got Judge Joe Brown out when he came in of last year, a few nights ago when we had a live stream with the judge. She came in because he was needed on our show. You know, he goes on Dana's show to talk about this emaciation and frustration of the man in this country because the feminization of the black man, of manhood and masculinity, is ridiculous. No, Dana didn't know, and I'm cool with Dana. It's nothing big, but she didn't even know. I was like, whoa. But she knows I does a. She knew. I'm like, you know, I do a live stream because you got Judge Joe Brown off, but she didn't know I did one. I guess on Sundays and Thursdays. I was damn Dana. Oh goddamn, turn his ass off. Valerie, turn him off. Dana, whatever ones you are. No, I don't know. I just see femininity. I see females running this show. I don't know your name. That's what Judge Joe Brown would say, you sissified punks. I'm doing fine, Killer Side, but you know I'm not in Dallas. I'm in New Orleans. I haven't been in Dallas since Hurricane Ida. I know that's probably when you first linked up with me. But let's go ahead and prayers. And speaking of hurricanes, prayers for all those that are, especially in Florida and Tampa right now, the hurricane Delta that everyone's dealing with. They're boarding up. They've evacuated the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Actually, they're practicing in Miami, I believe, because the storm is headed directly their way, so they had to evacuate. But shout out to and prayers to all of those people be affected. So without further ado, let's go on. And I want to talk about this in seriousness right now. There was an alarming set of photographs, I should say,
that has been going around the internet of this gentleman who's an inmate out in Alabama. His name is Kastellio Vaughan. Mr. Vaughan is doing time in an Alabama prison for burglary. I believe he's set or is doing, from what I'm reading in the reports, 20 years. He actually was up for parole earlier this year, but it was denied. So he's set for 2019. Yeah, he was sentenced in 2019 for multiple convictions out of Baldwin and Mobile Counties for burglary and unlawful breaking and entering in a vehicle. Court and prison records show he was up for parole this past June, but it was denied, and he's eligible for consideration in June of 2027. This is a picture of Mr. Vaughan, obviously when he's younger, healthier, back in, I want to say this probably was a couple years ago. This is his picture and condition now. These photographs were provided by Miss Cassie Vaughan. Now you see this, and it looks clear that this man is not, obviously he appears to be on a hospital bed of some sort in prison. He is emaciated. He is starving. He is starving to death. It looks like his eyes are rolling in the back of his head in one of the photos, and I don't know if he had surgery. It looks like a big surgical scar on his abdomen, but I can see his bones. Now, these are graphic. I apologize. I should have given you a warning if you have not seen it, but people have been talking about it all on social media, everywhere. And the photo has been shared over 12,000 times and has caught the attention of inmate advocate groups. Now, the problem with the family, and I think what's been going on per what I have been reading, is that the officials in Alabama have been trying to sweep this thing under the rug. According to this report, this statement from the Alabama Department of Corrections, they said, quote, the Alabama Department of Corrections understands there is concern about the welfare of inmate Kastellio DeMarcus Vaughan. He is assigned to Elmore Correctional Facility, but is currently housed at Staten Medical Observation Unit. ADOC's Office of Health Services has fully investigated his situation from a clinical perspective, and he has been offered all necessary treatment for his condition. Also, he has been in touch with his family to update them on his situation. Vaughan is serving a 25-year sentence for burglary, one out of Mobile County. According to his sister Cassie's coach, she last visited her brother on July 24th, and he was in good condition. On Wednesday, she said she received the new photos with the message, get help. I do know, and there's been an update now. You can see here that new attorneys have been hired to represent Mr. Vaughan. Those attorneys, a national civil rights attorney, include Harry Daniels, who is out in Alabama, and ladies and gentlemen, Lee Merritt and Ben Crump have been assigned to handle this case. In a statement on Friday, Lee Merritt announced he was hired by the inmate and his family. So this is how I'm reading this now, and this is AL.com. They say inmate. They don't say Mr. Vaughan. They say that on Friday he was hired by Mr. Vaughan and his family, and also provided more detail about Vaughan's medical state. Merritt said reportedly Vaughan had undergone surgery in August to remove a portion of his intestines as a result of gunshot injury sustained prior to his incarceration. Police at the time said the incident happened back in July of 2013. He apparently broke into a house and a shotgun, and a gunshot was fired at him.
Merritt said, due to inadequate facilities, abuse, and medical neglect, Vaughan's medical condition has rapidly deteriorated. He is believed to have lost 75 pounds in less than a month. Vaughan's surgical scars were exposed to unsanitary conditions and were possibly infected. Merritt said that Vaughan's family had began receiving the photos of the sick inmate earlier this week, which was the week of the 19th. And they began receiving the photos of the sick inmate and issued a plea for help. And their attempts to obtain any information were rebuffed. Now, it has been brought to my attention, according to a YouTuber I was watching, Dr. Richie, that the Department of Justice have gotten involved now in the case of Kastellio Vaughan. Yes, they have gotten involved and have been had spoken with Mr. Vaughan. Now, I don't know of the status of what talks they had. Obviously, they were disturbed by the photographs we all saw. But they have been awareness, as have obviously the state officials, and something clearly has to be done about a situation involving Mr. Vaughan. This is graphic, to say the least, to see someone like that, regardless of what he is in for, regardless of the fact that he is a prisoner, regardless of the fact what he did previously 3 years ago, 10 years ago. You don't treat human beings like this. There was no excuse for this, absolutely. And I hope that the family sues the piss out of the state of Alabama for this, because while he is doing time for burglary, and yes, you are, and here's the thing too. There is a lesson to be learned, I believe, for young people everywhere. And I'm not, of course, making any excuse for what these officials are purported to have done to Mr. Vaughan. That's not the message that I'm trying to convey with this. But when you are arrested, when you are convicted, you become property of that state. You are given a number across your chest here and on your back. You're not called sir. You're not called Mr. The guards don't treat you with respect. You are subject and prone to be beaten by inmates. You're subject to sexual assault, because it happens to men often. This is a lesson for our young people, especially those that are teetering on the brink of crime, to stay out of trouble. Because if you have health issues, being in jail is not the place you want to be. Being in prison is not the place you want to be. And Louisiana is the prison capital, or was at one point the prison capital of the world, on that farm in Angola. This is in Alabama. But this is not where you want to be, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm looking at these photos. I'm taken aback by what I'm seeing. I'm really taken aback by this. And if anybody is able to reach out to the family, I will try, and I'm going to make an attempt to reach out to the family. I know they're represented by an attorney now, but I want to make a statement. I certainly would want to help to get something like this, some help for this man, because no human being, regardless of what they were accused of, regardless of what they're serving time for, should be treated like this, especially by the state. So, hey, what's up, computer robots? Killer side, yeah. Killer side, the rebuilding process has actually been good in some areas. It unfortunately, like Katrina, there were properties obviously that were. I mean, we mostly have wind damage on this side, so everything is bad. But from Hurricane Katrina, from which was over 15 years ago, there are still, actually, a little longer than that, 17 years ago, there are still parts of this area that are blighted, that have not been rebuilt properly, which is some stuff we're dealing with. I can tell you and best believe that they're bringing the property value down, and I'll just, not to get off subject, but just briefly, when the property value of this area goes down and all of the blacks are kicked out of New Orleans, believe you me, in 5 or 10 years, the area will be redeveloped and it will look a whole lot whiter. And that's the goal with New Orleans. That was the goal with Katrina. They wanted to create a new and improved New Orleans with a lot less blacks, and that's just the bottom line. Exactly, and it's not, and that's crazy. That's bullshit. That's what children are taught now. And when you think about it, when you look at hip hop, we didn't think about this when we were young, but it seems that, and you can't blame everything on hip hop. I know Wyclef had that song, but it plays a factor in it because there's some negativity with it. There's a lot of negativity in it that tries to get black men, black people away from education, from responsibility, and pushing this foolishness. There was a time when hip hop was positive. It meant something. And I'm not saying that you couldn't have, obviously, everything had to be hunky dory. No, it shouldn't have. But it certainly shouldn't be like what it is now. We don't even own our own record labels anymore. Control our publishing. It's a shame. But we're going to keep our brother in prayer, but we're also going to go in action. We want to help him any way we can. So if anybody knows the family, I'm going to try and reach out through Facebook to reach them. Well, Danielle, I'm glad, though, your family is fine physically, that y'all are still here. But, yeah, the next time, well, we talked about it before. And that's another thing. People, I know, especially people who are poor, who don't have any funds, some of them were unable to leave and evacuate. But people have a plan. All right. We're going to monitor the story. I'm going to reach out to Ms. Vaughan as well. Now, speaking of prison scandals and so forth, prisoners, it appears that Brett Favre has thrown, even though he is retired, Brett Favre can't stop throwing an interception. Yes, Daniel, get the hell out. Get the fuck out, like John Witherspoon would say in his stand-up. Get the fuck on. More details emerge from Brett Favre welfare scandal. Now, I've mentioned prisons, but it's come out that Brett Favre, in order to get this facility started, well, I'm going to stop first. I'm going to read and share the story. If you go to the Boston Globe, there's an interesting article that was written by Renee Graham, who's a columnist for the Globe. Oh, you could tell she's black because when they have that first name, Renee, with that asterisk, that means something. That's Sister Gale. Brett Favre, welfare queen. She started off saying the same people who denounce welfare don't seem outraged over the former quarterback's alleged misappropriation of anti-poverty funds. Now, she does turn this obviously into a post and ran against the right wing. But as you know, we talked about this. Brett Favre had reportedly misappropriated millions of dollars in welfare money, which is believed to be about $77 million. Now, it isn't just Brett Favre, of course. It involves the former governor Phil Bryant, Nancy New, John Davis, Ted DiBiase of the Million Dollar Man and his sons, and other individuals. But according to news sources, it's actually gotten worse. Favre allegedly went to his buddies in state government, requesting even more welfare money for projects for his alma mater, University of Southern Mississippi. The funds that were meant for the federal anti-poverty program called Temporary Assistance for Needy Families, Favre wanted money to go to help these pet projects. Favre had been leaning on state officials in Mississippi, quote, even after Phil Bryant, the then state's governor, told him that it was illegal. He reportedly texted Favre that we have to, quote, we have to follow the law. I am too old for prison. Bryant ended the text with a smiley face, wearing sunglasses. So what has happened is that the state of Mississippi has filed a lawsuit against Favre and others to recruit more than $20 million in welfare money. Favre, the biggest name in the scandal, has not been charged with any crime. His lawyer, Paul Holmes, claims his client didn't know funding sought was siphoned from a federal welfare program. Now, as you read further, now, of course she goes into this. She called Brett Favre the Hall of Fame welfare queen. Now, Favre has a podcast on ESPN called The Brett Favre Show. He hosts his own Sirius XM show, and those shows have been suspended. And he also, in his career, his net worth is $100 million, but they say he's earned $150 million. So either way, he's a multi-millionaire. I've talked about this before. Brett Favre could afford, Virgil and the $1 Million Man, I don't think are together. Well, they had one of the officials pled guilty, John Davis, Nancy Dew, and as well as her son. They pled guilty. But his show has been suspended. His name is everywhere, and it's a negative. But Brett Favre, this situation's it's just worse. They say he's the face of this. This one guy, Rick Macy, he wrote that Brett Favre is the face of the scandal, but the issues go deeper in Mississippi. Y'all hit that like, share, and subscribe button. But there's a thing that I'm also looking at. Brett Favre, according to the message, was even sought help, according to reports, based off new text messages. He wanted, and this is what even makes it more sick. He wanted inmates, allegedly, to help build, not help him, because he wasn't going to lift the brick. He wanted inmates to build his fraudulent volleyball stadium. In May of 2018, according to text messages, Favre reached out to the governor, Phil Bryant, for help constructing lockers for this facility. I'm still struggling to save money on the volleyball facility. Favre even suggested, quote, the prison industry possibly as a builder. Bryant submitted a text conversation he had with Favre in 2019 after the pair had met the state welfare director who replaced Davis about the volleyball stadium project. We are going to get there. This was a great meeting. Brian texted Favre in September of 2019, directly after they met with Christopher Freeze, the welfare director who replaced Davis after Davis was suspected of defrauding the agency. But we have to follow the law. I am too old for federal prison. This is what Brian had told him. But this is now Brett Favre. Obviously, this has gotten some attention, but obviously not a lot of attention on ESPN, and I'll talk about that in a minute about a particular someone. But Brett Favre, first off, his popularity is all the fault, ladies and gentlemen, of one man, and that one man is none other than John Madden. It was John Madden who gave Brett Favre made Brett Favre who he is, because he talked about him all the time. Just a whole compilation. You can go online gushing about Brett Favre. Brett Favre just plays like this is wrong. Just
John Madden here with Al Michaels, and we're here to call the game with the
Pretty eager for the end of this game.
Oh, here's Brett Favre. He's going after the ball. I'm really anxious to see.
Yeah, he was just
I don't think, what color the person is on the street. You do not. I mean, I don't know what led to that video that we saw where his knee is on his neck.
Brett Favre, a ginormous Trump supporter, is watching the walls close in.
I know when I turn on a game, I want to watch the game. I want to watch players play.
A man who thinks athletes should stick to sports.
I'm kind of old school. I think you play, you get paid a ton of money to do it.
I was listening to a video. Yeah. But this is a guy, Mississippi, we talked about this, is the poorest state in the union. Even though they sometimes don't want to be a part of the union. They're the poorest state in the country. And they could use help with water, they could use help with a bunch of things. And you have your Brett Favre, who is a multi-millionaire, who has steady income, mind you, because I can guarantee you he's not doing a podcast for free of charge. That is not happening. Brett Favre decides, allegedly, to take money that belonged to the poorest people, and him, not just him, but others, and put it for a damn volleyball stadium. Yeah, Frank Caliendo always made fun of John Madden over that, how much he loved Brett Favre. Brett Favre,
From New York. Sometimes it helps your team, and then boom.
Super Bowl gone a year from now.
I think it's going to be a repeat.
Another year of solid Packers.
Yeah, Packer fan over there, maybe that right there. Yeah, boom. It gives me at least another year to talk about it.
That's right. And probably another year of solid 500 football.
Yeah, sometimes it helps other teams. Sometimes it helps your team. When you say there's a symbol there, you're gonna make a lot of money there.
Yeah, exactly. Now, and Prince, what about Prince at halftime?
He was pretty good. He is the Peyton Farving of halftime entertainment. He's pretty good. I think you look at him and you say there's a symbol there, and who I wish had a symbol? Brett Favre. Brett Favre. Yeah. Just the one right there. Boom, he's got.
Yeah, he was crazy about Brett Favre. But what do y'all think of this? I'm just so sick of this. I put the link up in there because I want y'all, obviously, to look at this, the text messages that come from there, if it is, of course, they have to be authenticated. But once they are, if they are, he is in a world of trouble. Well, I told y'all before, and I don't know if he's going to go to jail, but they're certainly not making this like the Andre Iguodala situation. The Ime Udoka, Andre Iguodala, all them African names get me. All right. Now, hit that like, share, and subscribe button, guys. So those are some of the details. I want to talk about this last topic, and I'm glad to segue into sports. I mentioned how this is not getting as much attention on ESPN because everybody is focusing on this Ime Udoka situation. Ime Udoka, who is the coach of the Boston Celtics that was suspended for engaging in, I guess, what they would call policy conduct against company policy with certain female employees, one of whom reportedly is married and is his wife's vice president, and another woman reportedly, I don't know if it's true, but they never mention the name. So they say, according to the reports, I remember reading this, that on Entertainment Tonight, the female staff Udoka was involved with and heard on security camera communicating what is married. And they pointed to Kathleen Nemo Lynch, who is the Celtics vice president of finance, the wife of Celtics vice president of finance, Patrick Lynch. And Lynch exposed the affair. I heard even some of the teammates expose the affair. Now, they've never confirmed it. And he is not married. Of course, he has been engaged to Nia Long. They have a 10-year-old son, Kez. They've been engaged for almost 10 years. Now, she spoke out against it, or spoke and basically stated how her concern right now is being a mom. But that is not what I want to talk about because I'm not going to get into this. But the new interim coach for the Boston Celtics is a guy by the name of Joe Mazzulla. Now, Mr. Mazzulla, Coach Mazzulla, let me call him by his moniker, is a former basketball player himself. He's 34 years old, young guy, about around my age group. And he was hired back in 2019 to be an assistant basketball coach to the Boston Celtics and served under Ime Udoka. Now, I bring this up for this next topic, and this is where I'm segueing. Malika Andrews has an apparent problem with black men. Now, Ime Udoka is singing. Ime Udoka is like Martin singing. Martin waiting on Gina singing "Fire and Desire." Love them and leave them. That's what I claim to do. Use and abuse them. I gotta slow it down. And then I laid eyes on you. It was pain before pleasure. All right. But let me get to this. Let me stop. Now, this has over 102,000 views on Twitter. Now, I'll bring up Malika Andrews because I want you to pay very close attention to this, what she says. All right? Now, she's been trending, so listen up.
3 seasons after spending the previous 3 seasons at Fairmount State. And he played for West Virginia between 2006 and 2011, and now could become the NBA's youngest head coach at 34 years old. And
now, watch what she says right here.
We'd be remiss not to also mention that Missoula was arrested twice at West Virginia, once in 2008 for underage drinking and aggravated assault. He pled guilty, paid a fine, and then again in 2009 for domestic battery after an incident at Morgantown Bar. The domestic battery case never went to trial. It was settled in August of 2009. He paid a $100 fine and court costs, plus had to do 40 hours of community service. Now, that was 13 years ago. He settled and paid both fines. So, Woj, why are the Celtics choosing him as their next head coach? Last 3 seasons after spending the previous 3 seasons at Fairmount State. And he played for West Virginia between 2006 and 2011, and now could become the NBA's youngest head coach at 34 years old. And we'd be remiss not to also mention that Missoula was arrested twice at West Virginia, once in 2008 for underage drinking and aggravated assault. He pled guilty, paid a fine, and again in 2009 for domestic battery.
Now, I'm not surprised that this is ESPN coming with this shit. And this person tweeted, All Ball 1977 said, "We got the woman Stephen A. Smith, y'all. Why bring up him getting arrested 13 years ago?"
Miss not to also mention that Missoula was arrested twice at West Virginia, once in 2008 for underage drinking and aggravated assault. He pled guilty, paid a fine, and then again in 2009 for domestic battery after an incident at Morgantown Bar. The domestic battery case never went to trial.
And she's defaming this brother.
2009. He paid a
she
$100 fine.
She said we would be remiss. You chose to bring that shit up. She chose to bring this up on purpose. How many NFL coaches, how many NBA coaches that don't look like Missoula, you don't think have criminal backgrounds? You don't think they have records? You don't think they got DUIs? The damn Colts owner has a damn felony DUI charge. Jim Irsay got caught with driving with prescription meds. Robert Kraft, the owner of the Patriots, he had a damn prostitution charge. He was talking about damn Deshaun Watson. Don't come here with this shit. I can't say I don't believe I would be lying if I said I didn't think this was going to happen. I didn't know it. Of course, we didn't know anything about Coach Missoula's record. We didn't know anything about it until she shut up. But it doesn't surprise me, and that's why the point I'm making, I wouldn't be surprised, because it's ESPN and it's Malika Andrews. She went at Stephen A. Smith, and as much as we have a problem with Stephen A. Smith talking about black men, I applaud him for sticking up to this wench. It's always the cute ones, guys. It's the cute ones, guys. You got to watch. Because it's clear. This, for her to say this.
And court costs, plus had to do 40 hours of community service. Now, that was 13 years ago. He settled and paid both fines. So, Woj, why are the Celtics choosing him as their next head?
She said, why are they? Basically saying, why would you hire this guy? She was attacking this man's character. And even Black Enterprise had to talk about it. They brought it up. Because remember, she went at Stephen A. Smith. And just to clarify, Andrew Wojnarowski, that's Woj, that's his nickname, he said, well, he answered her, and he said, well, let's start with this. This is somebody whose character they really believe in, whose leadership they really believe in. And technically, they think that Joe Mazzulla has all the makings of a head coach in the NBA. So, of course, Andrews is dating Dave McMenamin, who is white, works at ESPN. And Stephen A. Smith called her out. And she's talking to men. Yeah, here's another thing. She talks to men. She has a problem, it's clear, with black men. She has a problem with, I think she has a problem with men, period. But I think black men in particular, because for a black woman, someone who, and I don't know her background, I don't know her history, but to come out and attack somebody like you, like that, someone you don't know, bringing up their criminal history. However, let's go back and look at your history, Malika. What you did in college? What did you do at? I'm assuming you might be a sorority sister. What did you do? You did something strange for a piece of change. If I went and looked that up and put that on ESPN when you got hired, before you got hired, and talked about why ESPN hired you, how would you feel? A lot of people have done stuff in their past that they're not proud of. He's turned his life around, obviously. He wasn't convicted. What are we bringing this shit up for? This is a hippie. This is why ESPN, if you notice, ESPN's ratings have been going down for a long time because they're on this PC crap. And look, I'm as pro-black as it comes. I do think there's some issues that, of course, transcend sports, but people don't want to see that every day. People don't want to hear these agendas every day. For her to say something like that is pitiful. This Malika, that's her boyfriend here? This tells me everything I need to know, her mindset. Somebody wrote, she would not address her white zaddy like she does black men. ESPN has been trashed for years. Keep that same energy for Brett Favre. Thieving ass. I said that slow. I should have said it all together. Keep that same energy for Brett Favre, thieving ass. That sounds better. All right. I don't want to play this video because YouTube will give me a copyright strike. I played only that little 45-second clip and had the fair use remark, and I was commenting through it. You know, they suspended and took down my last video. Yeah, her dad is black. And look, you can do whatever you want with anybody in your bedroom. That's your business. But that tells me she has a certain mindset of how she thinks, what she thinks of black men in particular. I don't know her background. I don't know what happened with her daddy, but they put, I saw something very interesting when Shannon Sharp was talking about the Brett Favre situation. It went viral, and Dan, I want to say it's Dan Patrick on NBC Sports. He said something very interesting about Shannon Sharp, agreeing with him about how Brett Favre was treated different than T.O. and how if this was T.O., this would have happened. And he mentioned Charles Barkley, and y'all know I do Charles Barkley all the time, but he mentioned the fact that the reason why the networks, like Charles Barkley will say stuff because, well, we know that's just Charles, because we know if it were anybody else, and I listened very carefully to what Dan Patrick said, they would not have a job. Yes, that's why they put Charles Barkley on these shows. That's why they put Stephen A. Smith on First Take, so that he can talk down on black men. I'll never forget when Stephen A. Smith actually did a show with Skip Bayless, talk about domestic violence, and pulled up the statistics and actually showed, and shout out to Corey Holcomb because he called him out for this. He showed black men, how black men were the leading the numbers in domestic violence cases, and not having the proper context with that. And why it's dangerous is that you pulled up those statistics, you forget. And Skip Bayless, I gotta give him credit where credit is due, as much as I don't like him. Skip Bayless even said, well, you got to take into consideration, Stephen A., that the NCAA is predominantly black. The players are predominantly black. So naturally, if the players are predominantly black, yes, you're going to see more black people. If they do get in jail or arrested, yeah, they may be the leading of it because there's a majority of them. They're the majority of the team. They make the team. They are the team. You can't have it field goal kicker versus field goal kicker every game. That's not how it works. And this woman has some type of nerve. I don't know what she does. I don't even know where she came from. I don't remember her too much. I think is she the one that was always crying about she was always crying, I think, about the police brutality. I think that's the one who they showed. Now, she worked at her maternal grandfather's civil rights law firm for a year before studying for a communications degree in Portland. So she's been involved, obviously, with a lot of stuff. Her grandfather is Jewish, so her mother's side is Jewish. Her father's side is black. She was born in Oakland. But I mean, this is just ridiculous. I'm just looking at this. Yeah, Stephen Head Smith. I'm gonna wrap this up, y'all. But I tell you what, we could take one call. Let's take one call. 504-656-6760. 504-656-6760. You're online. We need people to call in if you are interested to talk about the show. 504-656-6760 before we get off the air. All right, so nobody is calling in. All right, since nobody is calling in, I'm gonna wrap this thing up, guys. But yeah, this was some bullshit. All right, so we're gonna wrap this up, guys. Hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Thank you all for tuning in. I will be back Thursday. We're going to talk with Sean about stuff. I got to tell you this too, and I'm going to promote this while I'm here, is that on Sunday at Uncle Matt's, if you are in the New Orleans area, Lettery, come on out. Okay, hold on, I'm sorry. I will be at Uncle Matt's this Sunday. Come on out, ladies and gentlemen, at Uncle Matt's. We will be, we got a comedy show that Tuesday. Y'all can come on out. We got my man Brandon Haynes is the host, along with funny other people, including Anastasia, Ryan Rogers. We got Jeff Vance, and a bunch of people that are gonna come in and rock the house. I look forward to it. I'm actually trying to pull up the flyer right now for everybody. Oh, we got it right here. Oh yeah, this is our flyer right now, ladies and gentlemen. You get ready if you want. You're gonna see a comedy show like no other at Uncle Matt's this Sunday. Pull on up. It's gonna be fire. Isaac Cosell is the headliner. So yeah, y'all gotta come on out. Y'all gotta support, fam. Y'all gotta support that. At any rate, guys, we're gonna wrap this thing up. It's all right, Danielle. I don't care. Yeah, Malika Andrews is baby. She's baby Sage Steele. Michelle Beadle. Well, unfortunately, with a Michelle Beadle attitude, no, not Uncle Max, Uncle Max. Yeah, man. They bring, yeah. But yeah, y'all come on out. It's gonna be fire. It's gonna be a great night. So we got that. We also have our comedy. I need you all to come out and support. We got another comedy show, by the way, DeAndre. I'm glad you're here. October 15th, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling y'all right now, October 15th. I'm gonna post it on Thursday. On our Facebook page. Actually, I'm gonna do an Eventbrite page now. We will be live at the Well again, doing some stand-up comedy. I will be, of course, the host, because I'm the host with the most, and I will have some of the brightest comics in the land, including my brother Will Merrill, all the way from Baton Rouge. B-Dub, my brother who produces shows out here, the Weed Conic Man. We got Corey Mosley. We got Brandon Haynes, as always, who comes out and brings that fire. And we also got my man, Terry Scott, who is going to be the headliner at this show. It's going to be a great night of comedy. Can't wait to actually do this. We want to say shout out to the people at the Well who produced the show. It's just y'all don't want to miss that. It's going to be a great one. Shout out to all my family in Florida, especially Tampa Bay area. Valerie, I think I don't know if Valerie Denise Jones, if she's in the middle of that hurricane, but I know that she had to hurry up and do stuff. But shout out to her. I'm praying for her. But yeah, this is a G Rich production, ladies and gentlemen, and it's going to be a great night of comedy. Y'all need to come on out, get your tickets on Eventbrite. If you're in the New Orleans area, you don't want to miss this epic night of comedy. It's going to be fire, ladies and gentlemen. So without further ado, guys, we're going to wrap this thing up. Also want y'all to, yeah. Also want y'all to please support our book by going to Kindle right now, Amazon Kindle, and ordering The Commonwealth of Pennsylvania versus William H. Cosby Jr., The Destruction of Due Process in the United States. We're going to wrap this thing up. Of course, you can check out our seasoning, try it on chicken, meat, or fish. Nowadays goes great with every dish. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, of course, as always, video sold on iTunes and gotta get on up. So as we always do before every show, ladies and gentlemen, we've gotten on down. It is now time to get on up because the party is wasted and we need to have some fun. So we've gotten on down. Now it's time to get back on up, ladies and gentlemen. I'll holla. Peace. Love you.
Girl, come on. Gotta dance to the beat, because on the dance floor is where we'll be. Show me what you got. Gotta feel the groove.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the...
Right now the party's wasted. There's nothing much to do. But once the groove gets started, tell me, what do you have to lose? Just look into my eyes, girl, as we glide across the room. And what to my surprise now, the beat takes hold of you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this party started. Ain't no time for the run. When the rhythm takes hold of you, there's only one thing left to do. Cause the beat is really moving. Time to feel your body moving. Gotta go up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the...
Tell the DJ play the whispers. Rock steady in the mood. Put on earth, wind, and fire. Tonight we're gonna groove. Show me how you do the four corners. Electric slide or two. Hit the bus stop or do the bunny hop, baby. It's really up to you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this party started. Ain't no time for the broken hearted. When the rhythm takes hold of you, there's only one thing left to do. Cause the beat is really moving. Time to get your body moving. Gotta get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the...
Now 2020 hasn't been the best year of all times. We've been dealing with death, the pandemic, racism, bad policing, and all the bad rhymes. But like Uncle Snoop once said, if you breathe and you achieve. And so if you're ready, I need you all to get on up. Are you ready? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Get your butt on the dance floor. 5 and 6 and 7, 8. This jam we appreciate. We're gonna slide and step on the beat. On the dance floor is where we'll be.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the floor, baby. Yeah, gotta get on up. Come on, baby, gotta get on up, baby. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up.